Hey there, everybody. I'm terribly sorry about technical difficulties, making this the third attempt at me making this video. Um, Hopefully this one holds through. It appears stable for now. I really have no idea why it's being so crazy. Um, Today we're gonna talk our way through. For the 10 minutes that I need, we're gonna talk our way through amines and amides. Um, Why? Why are you doing this to me, computer? What are you doing? Why are you not sending data out, little guy? Okay. Alright, well, I think I just have to push through. So that's just what we're going to do. I understand that the video is probably going to be a little laggy at times here. The video might jump, and it's going to be a little harder for me to answer your questions today. Um, but I can't keep restarting the video. Um, so I hope, thank you for saying it's much better. I hope that it's much better. I hope that it stays that way. Um, so today we're going to look at amines and amides. The last two functional groups on table R that need a little bit of extra, discussion, a little bit of example. The first is an amine. And an amine is a nitrogen bonded to the chain. At our level, when we're looking at regions chem amines, it's just going to be NH2 bonded to the chain, kind of like a little branch. Whereas in other, oh no, oh no, oh no. It is just over. Why is it happening? Alright. It's not lining up at all with the things that I'm writing over here, where I'm trying to talk about amines, but that's not super helpful, and it's really annoying, but I just want to teach some kids some stuff. Alright, YouTube, what are you doing to me? Why are you being such a butt to me right now? I really don't appreciate it. I really need this to work for me. I really need this to work for me. Alright, how's this? Because it's saying if I put a little X here. Nope, that's not what I want to do. If I put, alright. Okay, so it seems now, at this point, that it's working. I'm going to push through, and this video is going to be kind of disjointed and not so great. And then I'll remake it at some point in the future. Right. And I'm going to watch on here on my own. I'm going to watch my own live stream so that I can keep up. Right. So, from the top here, an amine for us is the functional group of NH2. And this is just going to be added to the chain at some point on the chain. It's confusing because on the reference table, what they show you is this, with an N with other stuff attached to it. That's the true definition of an amine, but it's going to be kind of not dumbed down but simplified a little bit for us, whereas it's not going to be carbons attached to an N attached to other carbons, which is what these R's represent. It's really just going to be this NH2 like you see here on the example. Right. So the example they give us is propanamine, 1-propanamine, CH3, CH2, CH2, NH2, CH3, CH2, CH2, NH2. Right. This is 1-propanamine. Right. This comes from prop 3. The amine is our NH2. It's not going to have the issue of having other things attached to the N. For us, it'll be NH2s. Right. So when we see like the examples that they've given us here, pentanamine, methanamine, butanamine. Pent is 5 carbons. Amine is the NH2 added on. If they don't give you a number, right, if there is no number, the rule of thumb is put it at the cap. So this for pentanamine with no number is going to be 5 carbons in a row with an NH2 at the end. If they wanted the NH2 to go anywhere else, they would have included a number, right? 2, 4, 1, 3, right? They would have had some number to tell you which carbon to put the amine group on. We're going to do more examples of those after I talk to you about amides. Right? An amide is a double bonded oxygen with a nitrogen attached onto it. Right? And this is something that's going to go at the end of the chain. If we look at amides, right, much like the aldehydes that we looked at the other day, where they're always going to go at the end of the chain, these are always, right, always at the end. Again, this is something that can happen a little bit more complicated if you go on to further AP Chem or College Chem. But for us, when we're looking at amides, it's this functional group at the end of the chain. All right, so there will never be a number for these. Because they're always at the end of the chain. So we're going to look at these 6 examples. All right, starting with the amines, pentanamine, 5 carbons in a row. Amine is an NH2 added. Since they don't tell me where, I'm going to put it on the end. and then make sure that all carbons have 4 bonds. If I take a look over at methanamine, meth is the prefix for 1 carbon. There's no need for a number because there's only one spot to put the NH2, and making sure that the carbon has 4 bonds. Butanamine is going to be 4 carbons, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. With no number, it means that the NH2 goes on the end, and each carbon gets 4 bonds. Now, it is possible to have something like 2-hexanamine. And if I have one with a number, that just tells me where to put the NH2. So this would be 6 carbons in a row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the second carbon, NH2, making sure that every carbon has 4 bonds. For an amide, like I said, they're always going to go on the end. So hex, eth, prop, no matter what the prefix is, it's just going to be put your carbons together. Hex, 6 carbons. And then the amide is going to be the double bond O and the NH2. Making sure that all carbons have 4 bonds. This carbon is part of the chain of 6. It's part of the hex. So it's not 6 additional, it's 6 total carbons. For ethanamide, it would be 2 with the double bond O, NH2, making sure that each carbon gets 4 bonds. Right. For the last one, propanamine, it would be meth, eth, prop, with the double bond O, NH2, making sure each of these has 4 bonds. Now the question comes up, why is the nitrogen not in the chain for 2-hexanamine? Right. The amine is a branch, so this is branched off in a way. So this, right, I keep drawing it at the end of the chain just because it's easier to like judge my spacing, but I could take this and put it here and that doesn't change anything. Same thing over here. I can move this NH2 and say that it's here, right? The NH2 is not part of the chain, right? Carbons are part of the carbon chain. Everything else is extra. Right, so these NH2s are, in a way, branches off of a chain. Whether it's a chain of 1 or 4 or 6 or 5, it doesn't matter. I'm never going to do this because now it's not a carbon chain anymore. Now it's a carbon chain with nitrogen in it. This is an amine, but it's one of the more complicated ones that we're not really going to encounter at Regents Chem level. That's all I have for us for today in terms of amines and amides end of this video. We are going to stop here so that I can work my hardest to adjust everything that went wrong with this video. I'm going to transition us into tutoring and office hours. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns that you would like answered, please pop into our Google Meet to ask your questions. We are going to have a final project. I know Liz asked that in the chat and I answered in the chat, but we are going to have a final project, and that final project is going to be released to you shortly. I'm going to try my best to finish putting all that together, and I think by the end of next week, you can expect information on your final project. All right, everybody, have a fantastic day, and I will see you later.